That's me trying to pull a Sean. Sean likes to start every episode with a weird sound effect for no reason at all. But he's not here. He's on a cruise. So you just get me. I'm Caitlin Cook doing the introductions. Welcome to 2020. This is the first episode of 2020. Happy New Year. And this is 5 Words the Podcast. That's what you're listening to. And I hope you know that because you clicked on us. And thank you for that. This is 5 Words the Podcast. If you haven't listened before, this is the podcast where me and Sean Patton, my co-host, we have on a guest. They're going to tell us a really awesome, sad, or weird, or crazy story. But before they tell us that story, we say, wait. Tell us 5 keywords from that story. And they'll hit us with some words, and then we will try and tell them what we think the story is based on those words and what we know about them. And then we nail it, totally nail it. And then they hit us with the real story. And if you have a more concise summary of what we do on this podcast, let me know. It's very long-winded. Anyway, I'm so excited to share this particular episode with you guys. Monroe Martin III has been a good friend of ours for a long time. He's one of those people that you see immediately across a room because he's very tall, but also he's one of those people that when you see him, you know, oh, it's going to be a good night because Monroe is here. He's great. He's a great hugger. He's a very, very funny comedian. And this particular episode, we had talked before about sort of his childhood and growing up in foster care in Philly and all that, but we really delve into it in this episode. It's such a good, intriguing, interesting, hilarious episode. I'm really excited to share it with you guys. And you should also check out Monroe in general. His website is monroemartincomedy.com. His Instagram is Monroe Martin III, Monroe Martin III. And he doesn't have any dates posted right now, but go check out his Fallon set. Go check out his stuff on Comedy Central and just follow him because he's going to let you know where he is. And he's so good. Seriously, go check him out. Okay, that's it for me. Enjoy the episode. Bye-bye. Boo! Ka-chonk. And we're live.
And we are live, not only on the podcast, but in real life.
True.
We are live with our wonderful, he hails from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He now lives in Queens, New York. The one, the only. Pound for pound, the tallest comedian in comedy.
Yeah.
Well, Gary Goldman, he's taller than me.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Second tallest comedian.
Thank you.
Monroe Martin III.
Yes, I am here.
I want to give you NFL style statistics. So it's tallest comedian to hail from Philadelphia under the age of 35.
Yes.
Monroe Martin.
Absolutely. Hell yeah.
You ever watch? Are you an NFL guy?
Not really. Only during the season. And I only watch the season just to see who will win.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoy it, but I watch a lot of football, and one of my favorite fucking things, I guess every sport probably does this, is how they just create statistics constantly. Caitlin's a huge sports fan, as you can see by
the glazed look in my eyes.
Yeah.
I felt like they did that with hip hop. Eminem is one of my favorite rappers. But I'm he's only... Oh, sorry.
No, you keep talking.
I'm he's only great because they created all these benchmarks that never existed in rap before. They're he has the highest vocabulary in rap. I was but what about... That never existed before him. Nobody was talking about that.
Right. Nobody was using multi... Well, I mean, I feel like he...
Because you got Oh, go ahead.
No, but I feel he... It's almost like he... I feel I wonder if it's more to do with Eminem or the time that he emerged, because it was hey, if you're going to be a white rapper, you've got to do something.
No, I feel it's gotten worse now, with statistics of...
I thought you were talking about hip-hop.
No.
Chiming right in.
No, just I feel because there's so many people trying to do whatever it is now that they're creating statistics for the first person from this place of this age to do this thing.
Absolutely.
And you're all right, well.
The Eminem thing, there were so many rappers that rap like Eminem, but they were black, and it was corny. You know what I mean? Like you had Sticky Fingers, who raps just like the same kind of content.
Yeah.
Really?
Where it's like I rip your dick off and feed it to my pigeon or some shit like that. Like they do that type of thing. You had Sticky
a lot of
Fingers.
metaphor.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had like all of D12.
D12,
You
yeah.
had Hobson. You had what's his name?
Cannabis?
Is it Cannabis?
Don't
The
like me.
guy
I won't know.
Wyclef.
Yeah.
Yeah. That guy, I feel bad.
He said some wild shit.
Yeah, but I feel like he was like supposed to be the guy.
Absolutely.
And then all of a sudden it was just like, cannabis, you mean the thing we smoke?
Yeah,
Like, I
absolutely.
forgot about.
That was LL Cool J. He came at LL.
Right.
And LL smacked that hiney up.
Yeah.
And then it was like, okay.
And
Keep
then
it moving.
And then wait, what though? Like it was like Wyclef's gonna produce your album.
No, that was Wyclef was the person that found him.
Okay.
So all of this was happening while Wyclef was like bigging him up. Like, yeah, we're going to do an album. He's the next to blow.
Right.
And then you come at LL, or he said he never came at LL, but LL interpreted it as a diss. So he responded and destroyed him. And then I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
Whenever I hear about Wyclef, I think about a moment where like I was trying to get more into hip hop because I didn't grow up with it in the same way a lot of people or a lot of men did, I guess.
Yeah.
And I remember some guy I was flirting with. I think I was like in 6th or 7th grade. Some guy I was flirting with was like, tell me the names of your favorite like hip hop rapper guys, and I was like, Wyclef Jean. I just completely mispronounced it, and he was like, I think he just stared at me and walked away.
That's so funny.
I like that.
And I was deep shame,
like,
so embarrassed.
Wyclef Jeans?
Yeah.
Wait, was he also in 7th grade? Or
Yes.
was this like an older?
No,
what's your favorite
no.
hip hop act?
Yeah, like,
No,
what's
it
up?
was
What
like-
you like listening to in my Buick?
It was like one of those moments where you just like pretend you've seen a movie in conversation, then someone's like,
Oh,
yeah, that
absolutely.
scene, what'd you think there? And you're like, I don't know.
No, I get that. I
Yeah.
used to do that shit.
Yeah.
I used to only see the trailer and like put the movie together in my head. I'm like, I seen that shit. The plot, when he jumped from the building onto the plane, that was the best part of the movie.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what? The fun part to do there is when you realize someone has not seen the movie but is just saying they are, and you start implanting
you
like,
fuck with them?
man, how about that twist, huh? Like, did you realize it was all a dream sequence? Did you know that from the
They were
beginning?
like, nah.
I'm like, yeah, man, the whole Wolf of Wall Street, the guy was just dreaming.
Because you're not doing anything.
And when they're
What a
like,
weird
yeah, I
twist
know,
at the
insane,
end.
right?
It was actually Inception Part 2.
Yeah, it was crazy. But like there you go.
Cough directly into
I
the
covered the
microphone.
microphone and coughed directly into it. I think that's fucking hilarious. I also I'm enamored with the idea that another 7th grader was like, you can't pronounce Jean.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I thought it was Gene, too.
Yeah, right? I'm not
I didn't
French.
even know
What
he
is
was
it?
Haitian. I didn't know he was
Yeah.
Haitian. Did you know he was Haitian?
I knew he was. I knew he was Haitian.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I didn't.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I knew, but I wonder if he thought it was Wyclef Jean until white people started being like, it's
Jean.
Wyclef Jean.
You're
And he was like, is it?
mispronouncing your own name.
Okay.
I thought it was White Chief.
Yeah, that White Chief John. That is like well, we were talking before the podcast about like dealing with audience.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah.
Philadelphia is, and I don't think it is so. I love doing shows in Philly. It's one of my favorite cities to perform in. But like Philadelphia is notorious for being like rough.
Oh, yeah.
Like
They don't give a fuck. In
Yeah.
Philly, everybody thinks they could do what you do
Yeah.
Yeah.
at least 4 times better. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
at least they're going, I know someone who can do what you do. So to them, they're ready to go. They're
Yeah.
like, why are you up here? What's so
Yeah.
special about you? Especially if you're from there, then they will think that until you prove yourself. But if you're not from there, I think it's a little bit more leeway because they're
Sure,
like,
sure.
well, we showed up to see you, so what's up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll give you something.
Yeah.
We'll give you a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit, but they also showed up with someone who they think is funnier than you.
Right.
They
Did
already
you
got their
start
buddy.
performing there?
Yeah, that's where I'm from.
Yeah. I feel like Philly and Boston have that same like aggro, like it's competitive.
Yeah, I heard that. I've only been to Boston twice, but not enough to be like, oh, I seen the scene.
Yeah.
But I've always heard like those are the like Boston people are like they're aggressive.
Yeah.
They're very like, yeah, what's up?
It's like if the cities on the Northeast Coast were siblings.
Damn.
It's like Philly and Boston are like the older. Like we started this, and New York is its like mega successful younger sibling. Yeah. It's like there's no you without us. And New York's like, okay, y'all,
Like,
I understand.
Yeah.
But because I like it. It feels like Philadelphia it's a feisty city because of that.
Yeah.
Because it's so proximity wise too. It's only an hour away or hour and a half away from New York.
But it's also like it's not too far from DC.
No. Yeah.
You know what I mean? DC is known for being smart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's where all the intellectuals go and live and stuff.
Nation's capital.
Exactly.
Even though it's like, the Declaration was signed here.
Yeah.
It happened here first. You moved down south because you like the weather.
Yep.
You know?
And this Philly, we just right here, just angry.
But I love going to Philly because it's like that old, like there are neighborhoods in Philly, and I apologize, I do not know what they're called, but the streets are not wide enough for modern vehicles.
Oh, it depends on where you are. So you're probably thinking about what, like South Philly?
It's like near like where Helium is. Like there's like neighborhoods where like can't drive a car down those streets.
So that's Center City, and then it'll extend down to like South Philly, and the streets do get narrow, and people start parking on the sidewalk.
Yeah,
that you're talking about.
I mean,
where like
yeah,
they're
that's
like
funny.
up on their porch and shit.
Is that because of how old it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess it's like it wouldn't make sense for them to tear down houses to make the streets wider because that's what has to happen.
Yeah.
Those streets are two-way, just so you know. Like those small streets are two-way fucking
Oh,
streets.
Jesus.
Yeah.
No.
So
funny.
I knew a gentleman named Mike Drucker who wrote for Fallon.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I think I met Mike Drucker like once or twice.
Yeah, Mike's a fantastic comedian. Yeah, he's from Jersey. Mm-hmm. I know Jersey and Philly got a constant like. It seems that way. It seems like Jersey people.
I don't know. Like we accept Jersey comics pretty. Yeah, we accept them. We're like, because Derek's from Jersey.
What's the city across the river from Philly
That's Camden.
Camden.
But that's still Jersey, but like they're so close that we're like, yo, you're from Philly.
Yeah.
But when they start that corny shit, like no, there's corny shit that I just can't pinpoint, but it's just like a cornballness where you like, nah, take that Jersey shit back across the bridge.
Yeah. It's like when they start being somewhat happy or like you're not from here anymore.
Yeah. And Jersey, and sibling wise, Jersey's like the adopted sibling that's also like, I am part of this too, and like, shut up, Jersey.
It's like beat it on both ends. On the part of Jersey that's close to Philly and the part of Jersey that's close to New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even though you go to certain parts of New Jersey, you're like, this is the most beautiful place I've ever been.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you're like, I'm sorry, Jersey, you are majestic. And
They keep that shit right in the middle.
Yeah.
It's right in the middle. It's that central Jersey that's like, you're like, wow, this is beautiful. And then everything else is like, bleh.
I don't know if I've ever been to that part of Jersey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've just seen the shitty parts of Jersey.
Yeah, there's beautiful parts of Jersey, but like it should just be the sixth borough at this point, though. Mm-hmm. It's like, you know what I mean, like because like both of the New York football teams, speaking of football earlier, play in New Jersey.
Yes,
I did not know
they
that.
don't set foot in New York City. I guarantee there are players that play for the New York Jets and the New York Giants who don't ever set foot in the state of New York. Because they play practice in New Jersey, and they all live
in New Jersey.
In New Jersey,
Damn.
in like mansions in New Jersey.
Why doesn't New Jersey revolt and be like, you're our teams now?
Because they can't afford it.
But that would be kind of fucking hilarious if they took two NFL teams hostage. Like we are gonna be the New Jersey Giants, and you can have the Jets.
I felt like the Jets should have just been given New Jersey, though.
Just here, take
Just
the New
like,
Jersey Jets.
Here you go. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
And then they give them less games.
Like, you guys only have to play 10 games.
It rolls off the tongue, the New Jersey Jets. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think it would be fucking hilarious if New Jersey took both teams hostage and then made this New York City choose one, like Sophie's Choice. Like you can only keep one.
Who do you think they would choose?
Giants.
Yeah.
I've only met 3 Jets fans in my entire life, and they all seem to be like,
Yeah.
Are they all from New Jersey?
They're loyal because of
true,
their grandfather or some shit like that.
I think it's funny with all because every New York has 2 of every sports team. And I just like the idea of when you choose, you go with like, I'm going to go Mets, Jets, and Nets because they rhyme.
Yeah.
And then Red Bulls because I like the drink. And the other guys are, fine, I'll go Giants, Yankees, Knicks, and football club because that's the other soccer team, MLS
I like that
team.
you changed
That's
your
what it's
accent.
called?
I think it's either New York FC or maybe it's just New. Yeah, the other team doesn't have like because that the other is the MLS team, the New York Red Bulls.
Yeah.
Is because Red Bull owns them, basically sponsors them.
Okay.
But like, which is so lame. Sorry, MLS fans, but that's fucking lame.
Yeah, that stinks.
Like let them wear Red Bull on the jersey, but like come up with a
Or
better.
at least give them Red Bull, like during like the
Yeah,
Yeah.
just give away free Red Bull. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the other team is just like I think it's FC New York, FC NYC.
weird.
So it's like football club.
Which one is better?
I think the Red Bulls are like better. I think they're like more established. The other one's new.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, New York's so massive. It's like, well, if we're gonna get one, we got to get 2.
Yeah.
It's like an obese city that when it goes to order lunch, it's like just get 2 po' boys.
Just get the one with and
We'll
without.
take one to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One is always soggy,
Yeah.
just shitty.
Yeah.
Gotta warm it up in the microwave later.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
That's what the Jets are.
That's what the Jets. Probably at this point, the Knicks. Ooh, people are going to come at me for that one. But I've learned.
You think the Knicks will be better than?
You would think the Knicks would be the best basketball team on earth.
They have the most money
Because they've
right?
got money. They've got just so much, like, it's the New York Knickerbockers.
Yeah.
You know, like Spike Lee's there, you know?
Yeah.
Michael Che. There's so much, like,
Yeah.
Che in a hoodie looking at his phone, but courtside.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
you're that bad.
Yeah. You're going to go courtside to look on Instagram?
Just to look up the Nets.
Yeah.
See what
just
they're up to.
Yeah. You would think the Knicks would be like Laker level good, but apparently,
Yeah.
I don't know. Because I've had people like other comedians here, like Sam Morrill is a huge Knicks fan.
Yeah.
And he's actively tried to recruit me.
Really?
Like
What was his pitch?
Just being like, come on, man, you live in New York. They're like the classic New York team. Because I jokingly was like, well, I live in Brooklyn, so I guess I should be a Nets fan. He's like, no, but you live in New York.
Yeah.
Brooklyn's part of New York. Why do you want to? And I'm like, he made a lot of sense.
That is,
He tried
yeah.
to pitch me on like, you
It'll
need
be
to
New
cheer
York's
for the
team.
Yeah, he's like, it's New York's team versus just Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Is that what you're gonna do? You're gonna be a separatist?
Just like the name Knickerbocker. Is that like an old Carnegie
I
Rockefeller
thought
type name?
Knickerbocker
Or is
were
it a,
pants.
Yeah, I thought that's what I
Yeah.
thought too. Yeah.
I
So
feel like
wait, it's a
old
team named after
slang.
pants?
Maybe. It might be.
The New York pants.
If
The
it's
New York
pants,
Chinos.
The New
Yes.
York flat front khakis.
Yeah. I think that's true though, because I think then it became like a slang term for the kinds of upper class people that would wear that type of pants, right?
I mean, yes,
Yeah.
and it was an old name. And think about it, back then, sports teams just named like they didn't know a lot. So like, I don't know, the White Sox.
yeah.
They had the White Sox.
And the Red Sox.
What,
Yeah.
The Squires, remember that?
Yeah.
What is a Squire?
It's a knight in training.
Damn,
Yeah.
you were that bad?
Yeah, yeah. They
You're
were
a
just-
knight
They
in
were
training?
like, yeah, you're not
they
even
ain't
a
that
knight.
good.
You're
Yeah.
a squire. It's like a knight's servant who's working his way. It's like a knight's intern who's working his way up to be the knight.
Who
That's what
are the
Squires.
Squires?
I think it was like, hold on, can I look it up?
Yeah, look it up.
for
Go ahead.
I just
Like-
like the idea of like every team having to somewhat represent what they were named after. So like the
sorry, 'cause I can't
Knickerbockers
spell.
wearing those pants.
Yeah.
Squires.
Oh yeah, you know. No, I mean there's
just
Knickerbocker.
medieval
There's
times
Knickerbocker
nerd.
Avenue, but that's in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I wish they would commit to the full name. I wish the Knicks were the Knickerbockers.
But
I feel like
agree. I'm
but
gonna
I
look
feel
up
like the hard R.
Virginia Squires.
The Virginia Squires.
Yeah,
I mean,
the-
Virginia is a squire of a state. It's not quite I'm just kidding, Virginia. We love your cigarettes. But
Wait, hold on. The
What?
term Knickerbockers traces its origin to the Dutch settlers who came to the New World. Specifically, it refers to a style of pants the settlers
go.
wore, pants rolled up just below the knee.
Okay.
That's funny.
So that's-
I
Then
would
say, look at your
love-
Knickerbockers,
I
yo.
would
Yeah.
love to watch them play basketball in like little rolled up pants.
Uh-huh.
The Knickerbockers.
I mean, if we're being, and honestly, they probably shortened it to Knicks because that hard R starting with the N
Yeah.
gives,
Knicker.
gives too many people, gives too many like shitheads an opportunity.
Ugh.
Doesn't. The Knickerbockers. More like, you're like, all right, man, fuck, cut that guy off. Just call him the Knicks. Call him the Knicks. Yeah, that's the, Philly.
Yes.
That's what it was all. Mike Drucker, he told me when he worked for Fallon that, like, the Roots, they all apparently still live in Philly.
They're from Philly,
and they get picked up every day in a limo bus, driven to 30 Rock. They do the show, hang out, and then the limo bus drives them back to Philadelphia every day.
I mean,
that doesn't seem outlandish at all.
I mean, that makes sense, but I don't know if that's the case now. Just because I've seen, like, I follow Questlove.
Yeah, he's
and
around.
he like lives in like a high rise in New York because
Yeah.
you'll see him like just like live streaming from his crib, and you'll just be like, God damn, that's dope. But I think
like Black Thought lives.
Yeah,
yeah, like probably still lives in Philly.
Probably. They're making money now, but I knew like it took them. Like I was reading Questlove's book, and it said like that even though they were popular, it took them a while to really, really make a lot of money.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah. I remember listening to the Roots, like 1996, and then like the album Illadelph Half-Life came out, which is like one of my favorite fucking albums of the 90s, arguably. And so many, it was such a hard thing for people to grasp that they were a band.
Yeah.
That was like, they're a hip hop band. I remember like talking to like other kids in Slidell, Louisiana.
And
they're
like, what?
So wait, they play their own instruments? Like, yeah, they're a band, but they're a rap group. It's like, but they play instruments.
That's so weird.
But they play instruments.
That's what makes them so dope, though. They're like great. Yeah. And like he should be classified as one of the greatest rappers out right now.
Black Thought?
You know,
absolutely, dude.
But
absolutely.
I don't know what the argument is. Most people just go, but he don't count because it's the Roots. I'm like, he's still rapping.
Yeah, are you listening?
He's still saying those words.
What's the first album? We Want More?
Yeah,
that
do
one.
Do You
is
Want
like,
More? Yeah,
do you want that one? Like
if anything, that makes him a better musician overall because he's. Otherwise, it's just a producer and someone's rapping over a track. Like, he's playing along.
They had Scott Storch was a part of the Roots. You know who Scott Storch is?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's that hit by the Roots, the one with Erykah Badu. If you don't worry about me, I'll
baby, don't worry, you know that you got me. Somebody told me that this planet was small. That's my shit right there.
Right. But
I just got really excited because that's going to be the clip that I put out on Instagram.
Well, please. But it's a beautiful tale of a modern romance fall apart. How things fall apart because people have shit to do.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
a beautiful, like that song should be bronzed.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's a beautiful like.
That's my wife's favorite song.
Really?
Yeah, she goes, "That's my favorite song ever." She's like, "If I ever die, just play that."
She's studying film and photo flash, focus, record. Like it's so like it's such a beautiful tale.
Yeah,
and then it's all of a sudden like. And also, it's him talking about meeting a girl at a rap show in Paris.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's the most baller shit. He didn't go, I met her on Broad Street.
Yeah, it's like,
I met her in Paris,
we
baby.
were performing in Paris.
Yeah. And she didn't even know what the hell I was saying, and she connected.
Yeah. But yeah, like they're I love.
They're great. They got hits, man.
But I do wish they would be like, all right, we're retiring from NBC and going back into the studio.
But they still do. But no, they still make music. They definitely still make music. They made like albums. Like Black Thought had 2 albums like last year, part 1 and part 2. He teamed up with 2 different producers. I think Knife Wonder was like the last one or the first one, and then I think he used Premiere or maybe Knife Wonder again. But they were fire.
Dude. So I did Fallon fucking years ago when it was still late night with Jimmy Fallon. But I was like, can I talk to Black Thought?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not going to like talk to him. I just like, I have a thing I want to reference, like, Black Thought knows. And they were like, who?
What?
Tariq.
And Tariq. And they were like, oh, you have to call him Tariq. And I was like, but I get it.
Really? Why'd you have to call him
Because
Tariq?
they were like, Jimmy's audience knows him as Tariq.
But
like,
now they call him Black Thought now.
The Roots fans know him as Black Thought.
Yeah.
But they were like, I was like,
He calls him Tariq Black Thought now.
The full.
Yeah.
But they were like, no, you have to say Tariq, which I did. I was like, I was talking about a girl. I had a whole bit about how I met my girlfriend. She went to Temple.
Yeah.
And she was kind of rugged. I was like, which is Tariq will tell you, Temple's in a not the best neighborhood.
Yeah.
I think that was something like that. And he nodded along. I was like, yep.
Yep.
And I think he said that. I think he said, yep.
Yep.
I was like, fuck, it would have been so much more fun if I could Black Thought, right?
Yeah.
Temple, that's a wonderful neighborhood to meet. And then how she didn't actually exist and I had made her up. But it was a good bit. But it was so no, you have to call him Tariq. It was just such a moment.
But Black Thought, I get it. Calling somebody by their rap name is so much more fun than calling them Mr. Whatever Snoop Dogg's real name is, I don't want to know. I want to call him Mr. Snoop.
I believe it's Calvin.
Yeah, it's like Calvin something.
Yeah. I'm going to look it up.
Well, it's like when I was talking about watching Of Mics and Men. Have you seen that yet?
Of Mice and Men?
Yeah, Of Mics and Men.
No.
It's like the 4-part Wu-Tang documentary.
Where's that?
Amazon.
Oh, okay. I got to watch it.
It's fantastic. Yeah. But
it's on Hulu, right?
No, the Hulu is the show.
The show. That shit is fire.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
But
you're not
it
done?
Is Calvin.
I binge watched the shit out. Calvin what?
Calvin Cordazar Brodus Jr.
Doesn't flow out your mouth
No,
like
it
Snoop Dogg.
Calvin Cordazar Brodus Jr. I don't know.
It's a mouthful.
That was I was talking to my friend Brian Cook, fellow comedian, writes for Kimmel, but he wrote on that Drop the Mic show.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And we were
Eliza was talking about this.
we were talking about that documentary.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's kind of crazy just to hear Method Man talk about how he was, because he was the most successful, but how he was intimidated by all of them.
Oh,
right?
yeah?
And Brian was like, and then he said Method Man's real name. And I was like, oh, that's right. You were in a writer's room with him.
Oh, shit.
Working on jokes and shit.
What's Method Man's real name?
It
better start with an M.
I thought Eliza said that she called him Meth.
Oh, no, he goes by Meth.
Is it really Methical?
Yeah, his real name, his middle name is Takal.
Takal.
Meth Takal.
It's Clifford M.
Clifford.
Smith
Clifford.
Jr. Clifford. I love it.
I mean, Clifford M. Smith Jr. now would be a good hip-hop name.
Yeah,
True.
Cliff Jr.?
Cliff Jr., yeah.
I fucks with Cliff
because
Jr.
the guy who plays Method Man in the Wu-Tang
Dave East? Yeah.
Dave East.
Yeah.
That's his rapper name. It's his real name, I'm assuming.
Yeah, that's a dope-ass name.
Dave
Yeah.
East.
Yeah.
Dave East, if you're listening, I think you actually knock it out of the park with Method Man.
Oh, he kills that shit.
As does the actor whose name I cannot remember. You were in the Get Down, which was a great show for season 1, god awful for season 2. The dude who plays
Shamir?
the guy who plays Raekwon.
Yeah.
That guy is nailing it.
Yeah.
Like, he's nailing Raekwon in
You see this interview? He interviewed and he asked him how he got Raekwon down, and he goes, oh, I didn't even know. Because he was just like, I didn't even know. He was like, Raekwon is just there on the set with me.
Yeah.
He goes, nah, say it like this. I don't act like that. And he'll just, all right. And he goes, I talk like him and I just do this and I move my mouth and this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
You see him transform. You're like, this dude really an actor.
Raekwon might be my personal favorite of the Wu-Tang.
Really?
Yeah, just because his Only Built for Cuban Links is a fantastic album.
I never really gave it a shot.
Yeah, it's a great album. And also he's just Outkast I think is arguably my favorite hip hop group of all time. And he is on a track on Aquemini.
Yeah.
And it's great.
Okay.
Just hearing him over Southern 808 beat, you know what I mean? It's just,
okay.
Well, that song's not really 808, but I fucking know what I'm talking about. Cypher.
Why wouldn't you know what you're talking about? You're listening.
Yeah, I know, but I feel like sometimes I just don't. I conflate shit. I'm gonna leave this to a quick shout out, fact checker of the 5 Words podcast, Jeremy Janice, chef extraordinaire in New Orleans, Louisiana, is the song "Old School Players and New School Fools." I can't remember what the actual song's called, but that's the chorus.
I don't remember Raekwon being on that.
He's
Old
on
School
it.
Players and New School Fools.
Yeah, he's on that. He opens it. He's the
Really?
opening
Wow.
verse. Is that beat 808, Jeremy Janice? Fact check.
Yeah.
But isn't the 808 is just more of the bass?
I thought it was just
line. It's a
bassier and
boom,
quicker.
boom. Yeah. It's like a
think.
muffled bass. I just know that
know.
from whatchamacallit, from 808 to Heartbreaks, because the whole album is doom, 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 boom, boom, boom. It's like shit like that. Yeah.
Interesting. I
Yeah.
would think it was a time signature thing. 808.
Probably is,
I'm not
but
sure.
it has specifically to do with bass.
Yeah.
Time signature. You would be like that nerdy person who
Times.
could
It's a
get,
time
but would
signature.
get behind a beat machine and like make the greatest beats anyone's ever heard.
Yeah.
It's like, who makes these beats? A Jewish girl from LA.
She don't even know who Wyclef Jean is.
I know, right? He's my favorite member of the Wu-Tang Clan, right?
She makes. All right, wait. So, wait, where are we at? Hold on. Let me look at the. Oh yeah, we should drop in to the.
Yeah.
Why?
No, you're giving me more things to edit out. That's all. It's fine.
That's all right. Monroe, will
What's
you
up?
tell us your story in your 5 words?
Hell yeah.
This?
Yeah,
Yes,
read them
so
out.
with this?
Yeah, just read them
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
Okay, WWE,
Mm-hmm.
Wall, Kermit, Police, Arm.
Cool.
So it's WWE, Wall,
Kermit.
Kermit,
Police,
Police,
Arm.
Okay, so this is what we think your story is. WWE, as everyone knows, is internet community shorthand for we watch everything. It's a community of people around the world who just love watching pretty much anything.
Yeah.
So-
ASMR shit.
right. Everything.
Yeah. Just people doing weird random shit.
Right. And so one night you go home after doing some shows, you're a little high, you got a bunch of bodega food with you, and you're like, you know what? I'm just going to film myself eating all this garbage,
Yeah.
all this junk food. People will watch it somewhere. And
Well, you weren't really expecting people to watch it. You were like, this is funny. I'm high. And so you post this video on your Facebook wall. And you wake up in the morning and there are millions of views. And
Millions.
It's gone viral.
right.
And
You get contacted by a
Yes.
dude named Kermit, right? Who this was back when you could, I don't even know if you can still do this anymore, but if you can Facebook call people.
oh, yeah, you can still do that.
He calls,
You can still Facebook
okay, so he calls you. He's like, yo, what's up? It's me, Kermit. He even sounded like Kermit the Frog. He's like, listen, these videos are going huge, man. You want to make some actual money? You send me more videos of yourself eating and just doing anything you want, and we'll get paid. You want to get paid? And you were like, I'm not going to turn down money to just do anything and film it.
Yeah.
And Kermit's my fence now.
Yeah.
So you start doing that. You start just sending Kermit videos of you doing pretty much everything: eating, sleeping, opening the fridge, deciding not to eat, shutting
Yeah.
the fridge.
Yeah, just general stuff like that. Great Kermit accent right there. It was like 50% Kermit and
Yeah.
50% I have no idea why.
I was like, we're in and out. It went in and out of like Kermit and then the dude from like Stranger Things, the cop guy. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't-
Yeah, it was Kermit plus
But it wasn't
what the fuck
actually
is his
Kermit
name?
the Frog. That's right.
Yes,
I think
yes,
it
true.
was-
Oh,
It was a guy
okay.
who kind of sounded like Kermit. Anyway, then you get contacted by the police. Turns out some of these videos that Kermit is sending are illegal.
Right. Which you did not realize. And you were like, I didn't realize it was illegal to just send videos of doing anything. And they're like, it is. And we are a special task force of the police called ARM, which, as everyone knows, stands for American
Yep.
Relegation
Management.
Management.
Yeah.
American Relegation Management. They just
Yeah.
make sure we as Americans don't just
Send videos or whatever.
send videos of
Yeah.
us doing whatever to the rest of the world, because I could see how that could be used as torture in third world countries. Like, hey
Yeah.
kids, look in America, you could just do this.
yeah.
Anything.
Yeah.
So it's
So that's when you decided, you know what? I got to make better content. I got to focus my content.
and that's when you started the podcast with Derek.
Damn.
And that is the origin story of your podcast with Derek.
So that's
That is actually accurate. I don't know how the fuck y'all got that. I was like, I'm sitting here like, yo, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Fucking arm, man. They scooped me up.
ARM. That's what they call it.
Yeah,
Just
they just
Yeah,
scooped
that's why
me
it's
up.
called ARM.
So just to recap, it's about the time you started selling videos of you doing anything under the
Yes.
hashtag WWE, which stands for We Watch Everything.
Yeah.
Got contacted by an illegal fence named Kermit.
Yes.
You start sending him videos. The police contacted you, specifically specialized task force called ARM, which stands for American Relegation Management.
Yeah.
And we nailed it.
Yeah.
Fucking nailed it.
Now,
Y'all
how
kept
off
it.
were we?
Yeah.
What's
Tell
the
us
real
the real
story?
story.
I thought you actually knew Just because I thought you heard me try to work this story out before.
No.
Oh, okay. So dope. That was great. That way off.
Yes.
So off. So the story is actually about the first time I ever got to spend the night over one of my best friend's houses growing up.
Okay.
And I broke my foster dad's arm.
What?
So let's start there.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like a long jump.
Yes.
We were how the fuck?
That's a journey.
So it was I'm a huge fan of wrestling, even more when I was younger.
Right.
And my friend Kerm, we call him Kerm because he looks like Kermit the Frog. And like everybody called him Kerm. Like his mom.
When you say looks like Kermit the Frog, though, it's just like a frog face?
Or? Like a very frog face, but like if you like look at him, you go, yo, you look like Kermit.
That's
like
so
everybody
funny.
said it. Everybody, like it was like a nickname that even if they didn't know you, like in the hood, like if you walk down a wrong block, people go, oh, they're gonna rob you. No, sometimes they'll just make fun of you until you get out of the block. So like, you know what I mean? They're gonna take
rob
your money,
you
they'll
of
take
your
your dignity.
Yeah, they're gonna rob you of your dignity.
So we'll be walking to the store and they'll be like, hey, don't this nigga look like Kerm? Don't he look like Kermit the Frog? And they'll say shit like that.
Yeah.
So his name was Kerm. And we were like huge fans of wrestling, and his grandmother agreed to allow me to spend the night on Saturday so we can watch the pay-per-view. So we can like watch watch the pay-per-view on Sunday and just like make like a whole day of it. And that was a big thing for me because when you're in foster care, you can't spend the night over people's houses. It's illegal
Oh, I didn't
because
know that.
you're the state's property. So
right.
if anything happens, like they can do surprise pop-up visits. Like they can come to your house where I live and go, where's Monroe? And they go, oh, he's at his friend. They can go to jail for a long period of time.
Wow.
Right? So it's like a really, really, really big deal. And I was happy to like do that. And a little backstory about my foster dad. He was like an old man who like really, really wanted to be a cop, but I guess he even never tried and just didn't make it past the academy. So he was like the leader of the town watch. But he's the leader. He's the leader because no one else was a part of the town watch.
Right.
It was like me and him, and it's me because I like couldn't be left alone by myself. So I would like go like walk with him, and he would just like be like this tough guy, but he wasn't. He was like at least like 5'8", really skinny. Yeah, like really like little and frail and
You
skinny.
were already 6'2".
Yeah, like we were the same height already.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
So I get to spend the night over Kerm's house, and it's me, Kerm, his little brother, and like we're just all excited. This is I think this is Saturday night.
Okay. Okay.
So we're all like really excited that we get to watch wrestling tomorrow. So we're like just watching tapes of old wrestling and shit, like talking about what's going on. Then we start wrestling, and Kerm throws his little brother through a wall, like fucking just like by mistake. It wasn't like it wasn't like a purposeful thing. It was like a
you call a guy a frog enough, he's gonna get hot.
True.
He's just got all this rage strength. He's like,
he's like, boom.
Sorry, Jeff. What's your name? Like, we don't know your real name. He threw his brother through a wall.
He threw his brother through a wall, but it was like a sheetrock wall, so you didn't know how like thin those are. But it's still like it looks cool as fuck.
Yeah,
It looks cool as shit. Like I don't care what nobody say. Like you fucking throw somebody through a wall, you're like, yo, he's strong as shit.
God.
like both the person who throws the person and the person who goes through the wall.
Yeah.
Both of you look cool.
Yeah.
You both come out cool as fuck. Like even though it was a mistake, it's like, yeah, y'all are dope as shit.
Yeah.
Grandmother comes in, she's like angry. She's like everybody. She's like y'all gotta go to y'all room. Y'all are in bed for the rest of the night, for the rest of the fucking weekend. Monroe, you have to go home. And like they were like, yo, but he didn't do it. It wasn't his fault. Like we were playing around, so they stuck up for me.
Right.
So she was like, I don't like. She's still nice about it because she liked me. She was more like, I get it, but it happened because y'all were playing.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
she's also got that like the foster kid. He's a foster kid.
Yeah.
You're bad by nature.
So
kind
she's
of
like,
child.
you gotta go. So she calls up my foster dad, who's like, once he hear like what happened, and she's like, it's not his fault. It's not his fault. He comes up and he comes in like real aggressive, and he's like, grabbing me like by like the back of my shirt and shit. Like, and,
Even though you're the same height.
yeah, like he don't care. Like he's grabbing me. He's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" He like pins me up against the wall, like grabs me by my like neck and shirt and shit, and like pushes me up against the wall, and then like something in me just like fucking snaps. And I just like grab his hand and I twist it as much as I can. And then that shit just like kind of pops out of the socket. So now the cops come, a social worker comes, and it's just like this commotion.
Wait, how old
And
are
then
you? How old
I was graduating out of middle school.
Okay.
So
you're like 12.
literally, I'm like 12,
Okay, yeah.
13.
Yeah.
I'm in 8th grade, about to start.
Yeah, 13,
I'm
14.
literally starting 9th grade. That like it's the summertime.
Yeah.
It's like the last couple days of the school year going into the summertime.
Right.
And like the cops come, like they can't arrest me because they're like, well, he's too like it wasn't his fault. Plus, he's a ward of the court, so like if anything, he will come with us before he goes with the cops.
Right.
All that shit, and it was just like I felt bad.
Right.
You know, but then I felt great at the same fucking time.
Yeah.
Like I did. Like I felt bad, and I was like, I don't know what's going to happen to me. Like this is going to be terrible. Like I'm like thinking the worst. Like I'm never going to be able to live in another house again. But then, like as I'm calming down, I'm like, yeah, fuck him.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with me. I'll break your arm. Like I'm like getting cocky now. Like yeah. Like I'm crying and shit.
There's part of you that's like, it doesn't matter what happens next. I can handle it.
Yeah. Oh, like what? You can throw anything at me, life. I'm gonna break it.
Yeah. Just put your hands on me, life. See what happens.
He even went as far to like try to sue me and
What?
like, and they were like and
Tried to sue your
tried
foster's
to
kid.
tried to like press
That's why
charges and stuff.
That's why he didn't become a cop.
Yeah.
Because he was a bitch.
Yeah. Like he really did. Like it was like weird where it was like even the family that I was with, there was like, but it was his fault. Like, because the grandmother even said it was like he put his hands on him.
Yeah.
And like, even though I kind of was just like, because the guy's just, I'm going to get the fuck off me, get the fuck off me. So I'm like being disrespectful and cursing and shit.
Right.
But she was like, he put his hands on him and this, that, and the third. So they kind of just was like, what? That's stupid. And they just threw it out of court.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Damn.
That's fucking hilarious if you find out like on the Philadelphia police exam, one of the questions is if you are ever fostering a youth and they are not immediately obedient and physically harm you, what is your action? And it's like, A, deal with it. You're you've chosen this.
Yeah.
B, get well and then explain to them how they were wrong.
Yeah.
Or C, sue. He chose C.
That's why he
It's
never
like,
became
I'm
a
wrong.
suing.
Yeah.
That's the wrong answer.
He showed up in the court with like a sling on and shit. I was scared.
fuck that.
I was so scared,
That sucks.
man.
That
I was
sucks,
fucking
yeah.
terrified. And it was like weird, like, cause I seen them. I remember this day. I think it was like a couple years later, and I'm like walking downtown Philadelphia. I think I'm on my way to like a job interview with some shit, and I just see him, and then he just like gives me that mean look, like, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
And we just
But
keep
then
walking. I'm
if you
like,
look
yeah.
back at him even harder, he'd back
Yeah,
away.
probably,
Yeah.
but I was like goofy, like.
That is such a like show like that. Okay, because like there's this whole conversation today about how people are too sensitive.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will sort of like parade their pain out for like it's sympathy.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, where did that come from? And it's like, I think it kind of sparred from like lawsuit culture.
Yeah.
Of like the idea of like you got to show up at because we like
Yeah.
you tell kids it's okay to ham up your bullshit
Yeah.
to win a case, and
Absolutely.
that gets planted in there somehow.
Yeah.
And then when you're like 25 and you're like, but I didn't understand that if I didn't go to class I wouldn't graduate college, and now here I am and I owe all this debt. It's like, oh. You know what? It's the school's fault for not properly making them understand that they had to pass these courses.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
it's like
absolutely right.
and like, but that's crazy, dude. That's a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like a,
I've been trying to like write it out like on. I
it's
thought you
definitely
heard
a
me say it
story.
on stage.
That's definitely a story you got.
I'm trying to like just find more beats and like things to tell within it. Because
Yeah.
it was the second time I ever had to fight a foster dad.
Yeah, I was
Really?
gonna ask. Did
Yeah.
you stay with that?
No,
dad?
I went to another home. They literally took me out of that home and they placed me in like a temporary home for a little bit. Where'd I go? I think hold on, I gotta remember. In between this place, I can't say their name. Well, I can, but you'll bleep it out, right?
Yeah.
I went from the and I think from the
We got to bleep out that specific name.
I went to, yeah. No, but they know. I think they know. I think they know. I think. And there was like one in between that, but then the next one was I was living with like there was a father and his kid and then his wife, and they were having another kid or whatever. And like I was already at that age where I'm like, you can't yell at me now. Like you're like, if you're gonna talk to me, talk to me.
Yeah.
But the moment you raise your voice, I'm raising my voice.
Yeah.
And they didn't like that shit. And like this dude fucking hated my guts. And like he used to have this like cousin of his that used to come over and they and like they would just like talk shit. They'd be like, yeah, what do you think, you too big to get dealt with or whatever? Like they hung me over a banister one time because I was like about to go off, right? But this is what happened. So they locked me out of the house. I remember, I think I was in like 10th grade. And they locked me out of the house because we had moved to another crib. We had moved from one area to like the suburbs.
So it was an accidental.
No, it was on purpose.
Oh, they locked. Okay.
Yeah, because they used to give me bogus ass curfews. Like you gotta be in the house at 9. But I'm like, it's the summertime, and I'm like at least 14. I'm at least like 15, 16. Like you're not telling me I gotta be in a house
And of course,
at
if
9.
you're like bounced around a bunch of places, you're like, you have no authority over me.
Yeah. So I really like thought they were like suckers about this shit. I show up, all the lights are on. And I like ring the doorbell, and then I just slowly watch all the lights go off. Like the light in the living room goes off, the light in the kitchen goes off, right? And then it's just they're upstairs, and then the light in the master bedroom goes off. They just was like, yo, I told you what we told you. Boom. So this is where I kind of fuck up. And I admit this shit. Like I told my wife this story, and she was like, yeah, you're a fucking asshole for this shit. I was like angry, and I threw a temper tantrum because I like knocked on the front door. I would knock on the side windows. I would knock on the back door. Nobody answered. And I sat out there for at least like a fucking hour, right? I'm sitting there. They got like above ground swimming pool. And I'm just like chilling on the lawn furniture in the back. And then something in me just like, I'm like, fuck this shit. So I like throw the chair down, I break the chair, and then I kick the side of their pool, but I kick the fucking like the pump that goes from the ground into the pool.
Right.
I kick that out, all that water fucking just starts coming out and just fucking pouring out to the yard and shit. So I fucking just leave. I like walk, I'll just like fucking like speed walk and then run down the block. And I thought I got like so far, like I'm on Rising Sun Avenue, which is at least like 7-10 blocks away from where I live.
Right, right.
And like streets are dark, and I just remember like they pull up like in a minivan, and they pull up out of the van, and they jump out, and like I'm fighting them, like they fucking fight
Really?
me. Yeah, like for real.
How
like
many?
It was 2. But 2 grown ass men.
Okay,
like
yeah.
The dad and his cousin?
The dad and his cousin.
Oh, right.
And we're like, they fucking like, I'm throwing punches, they throwing punches. But when like that many people are hitting you, you don't feel it. And you got like adrenaline. And you're like just fucking,
Wait, and what? So wait. You're just fighting in the middle of the night?
Just fighting, and like I throw a punch that lands, but they throw one, like the cousin throw one, fucking lands, knocks me down. They jump in the car, fucking leave.
Oh, they just get out and
they just
fucking beat your ass.
Yeah, and they just get back in the car and fucking leave. This is what this is for. This is comedy.
Like, you think they're coming to be like, Monroe Martin.
No,
you come back here and answer for what you did. They're like, no, we're gonna fuck this dude up.
Yo, they're like, we're about to fuck this dude up. What?
Why did they even take you in?
Because people do it for the money a lot.
Yeah.
Like people do that shit for the money. Like absolutely, it's good enough if you don't. This is what it is. It's good enough if you don't have any drive to do anything else with your life.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like some people will go, oh, I care about the kids, and I believe those people exist. I've lived with some of those people, but they didn't give a fuck about the money. They put their own money into me, and they put their time and all that shit. But then you got people who are just like, you can see their lifestyle, and you can go, all right, well, your job doesn't pay you that much, and your job doesn't pay you that much.
Right.
So you're taking the stipend that they give you because they give you the money to kind of go, well, this is how much this kid would cost. Like, this is how much food it costs. This is how much school clothes cost, all that shit. So they would give him the money. But this family, they would just go like to the flea market and buy me like used clothes and all that shit.
Yeah.
So like I live with a lot of those people too. So a lot of people did it for the money.
Yeah.
And when I realized that, like I would say I was like I was like two different people. Like if you were cool, I was cool and like I could be lovable. But if you were like a dick, and I was very like I hated authority.
Teenager.
So the moment you were like, but the thing is, you don't get to be a teenager when you're like living under someone else's roof.
Of course,
Like if it's your parents, you can go through your teenage phase, you can be rebellious, but when they're like, you're not mine, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
They don't understand that shit.
Yeah.
They don't understand you're just going through your like phases in life. So
I love the idea. I love the idea that this dad and this cousin adopt foster kids because they're trying to both train to be MMA fighters. And like, let's get some troublesome, larger kids.
Yeah.
They'll do something wrong. We can fight them. That's how we'll train. That's how we'll be ready for anything. And they saw you and they're like, oh, he's going to grow up to be big.
ooh, we gonna get him.
We'll lock him out one night. He'll do something.
Dude.
I mean, I can see your wife's point. Like, yeah, okay, whatever. But also, like, I can see your point where it's like they're fucking the whole like passive aggressive like like instead open door. Where the fuck were you?
I would rather that.
Said, be here an hour ago. You're spending the night outside. Bam. Then it's like all right, but like instead, nope. Just shut the lights off.
Shut the lights off. And I know
Yeah.
because he was that guy. Like he was that guy who was petty because he did petty shit in front of me.
Yeah.
About you know what I mean? To like his family and shit.
Yeah.
So like he was real petty. So
when I was doing Teach for America in Chicago, there were like a lot of little poor little babies in the foster care system, like 5. When did you get put in the foster care system?
I think I went in around like 6, 7.
Okay,
Yeah.
so similar. Yeah.
When and you're turned loose at 18, basically.
I stayed in until 21.
Till 21.
Yeah. So I did SIL, which is called Supervised Independent Living, and I did that because I got in a fight with my stepdad.
You're like
My mom. So
your real mother's.
my real mother's husband.
Okay. Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, because my mom got her shit together very, very briefly. There was like a time where it was like, I think like at least max 5 years just like killing it. Like she got herself clean. She got like some sort of nursing job.
Clean,
where
was she like an alcoholic or?
Drug addict and alcoholic.
Okay.
So she got herself clean. She wouldn't even fucking drink. She I think she was like an orderly. She would like work with older people. So she had some nice money coming in. He worked for the city and they were happy together. You can see that shit. And but like there was like an incident that happened because like I was very conscious growing up. Like I don't know what, I think just the environment I grew up made me go, okay, you got to start like thinking for yourself a lot more because you're just being pushed down this path anyway, regardless of what you do.
Yeah.
If your behavior is good or bad, they're still going to like just keep pushing you along the system. So I remember seeing my mom and getting her life together. My sister moves in first. My other sister moves in. But they like are arguing and stuff like that. And it made sense to me why they would argue. Because I'm like, they don't know you as a mom. They don't know you as like...
Are they younger sisters?
Yeah, they know you, but they don't know you as like an authority figure because your word doesn't mean shit.
Yeah.
Because no matter what you tell me, the people I have to listen to are the people in this group home, the people in this foster home. Like, you got to listen to these people in the foster home. So how are you going to tell me what to do? So they would like challenge her authority all the time.
Right.
And I didn't want to do that to my mom because I knew I would be like, well, I don't know you. I would have a respect for you, but I don't respect you like a parent.
Right.
Like that emotion is gone.
Right. Yeah.
So I had that feeling in me. And then my sister had like a friend over, and they were like hanging out, and I left the house just to go like, I think I was hanging out with, at the time, I think I was hanging out with like my homies Jared, and this is like Jared, Lamont, and all them, and they live like, if this is Brooklyn, they would live like in Harlem.
Okay.
So I would have to go that far to go
Yeah.
hang out with them. So I came back, and I guess like, I know they didn't do anything,
right?
Because my sister isn't really an aggressive person. Like she is, but like she doesn't play aggressive. Like she's real chill. But he claimed that the door to the basement was broke, and he said that I did it, right? Like not even asking him, just like you broke the fucking door,
right?
Yada yada yada. And I straight up was like, who the fuck are you talking to? I didn't break no fucking door. And he fucking like big as shit. He was like my size now.
Right,
He
right.
fucking like grabbed me by my throat and just like slammed me against the door, right? And I'm like grabbing his hand, like squeezing it and like trying to fucking like bend his shit back. And my sister just comes up right behind him with a fucking knife to his throat.
What?
Yeah, she just fucking put that
shit.
knife to his throat.
Versailles,
And she's like,
she's my favorite now.
get the fuck off him.
Yeah.
And like, but from that moment, I was like, I can't live here. Like, this isn't like, this wouldn't be. And they lived like smack dab in the hood. Like, they lived like, there's an area called Tasker Projects, was like probably one of the last worst projects in Philadelphia.
Right.
And at the time, it was still up. It was called Tasker Homes. So it was like, that's going on. Then you got the Tasker Projects literally on the next block, so it just wasn't like a good environment to be in.
Right.
So I just chose to stay in foster care, and then they gave me the option to live by myself. But it really wasn't by yourself. Like you had to follow a set of rules. You
It's
got
with
your own
other
apartment.
foster care kids,
No,
right?
you get your own apartment like this,
Oh,
like
nice.
for real.
Yeah.
Like you get a nice
Oh,
apartment, but
Is it paid for by the state kind of thing?
yeah,
And you like have roommates?
Nope.
No?
No roommates. Just you by yourself. There's other foster kids in different apartments, but the rule is no overnight guests. Like the moment you have an overnight guest, you are kicked out. They don't. Yeah.
Okay, so it's like dorms almost.
No, like
No?
real apartment building. They just
they take over entire building. Okay,
So
okay.
you got Section 8.
Right.
So
Yeah.
they I don't think they did a Section 8 thing, but they would do what Section 8 does, like buy a certain amount of apartments in certain buildings and like pay the rent on that.
Right.
And do all those things. So you had to maintain a job. You had to keep a certain amount of money in your bank account. You had to go to school. You had to be in some sort of post-secondary education. You had to go to these mandatory meetings that happen like once or twice a week. If you missed those meetings, you had to have a really, really good excuse. Like you had to call out of work to go to those meetings. So it wasn't even like a meeting where you'd be like, yeah, like I'm at work. They're like, we don't give a fuck about your job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to
Yeah.
have one,
Yeah.
but we don't care about it.
So they were like strict in that sense. So I did that.
This
And I
was at
lived it
18, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
this was from like 19 actually to 21. Yeah.
And then when you're 21, you're set free.
Then you're 21. They're like, all right, you can start paying for this apartment by yourself, or you can move out and go buy another apartment or go find another place. And I didn't save a single fucking dime
Yeah.
when I was living that
Yeah.
shit. So when it came time to like transfer the lease, I didn't build my credit up. I didn't have no money, any of that shit. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
went and I found like roommate situation and shit.
And then wait, and then you start doing stand up.
I started doing stand up at 22.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
wow, that's fucking
Yeah.
insane. Well, first of all, a few questions. One, are you still close with that sister?
Yeah, I was gonna.
Yeah,
ask.
me and that's my homie.
I mean,
That's
she
my
put-
homie.
she
Yeah.
fucking
Is she still
drew
in
a
Philly?
sword.
Yeah.
right.
She still. I got two
Yeah.
sisters. Me and we're still close. I think it's still like we've become different people because
Sure.
she's a mother now.
Sure.
You know, so her mentality is different.
Yeah.
I'm a husband in a comic, so my world is completely different from
Right.
hers.
Right,
Like
right.
my thought process is different. Like the way we think is completely
Yeah.
different. But that's still my homie. Yeah. That's my homie. That's my. You can blank their names out if you want.
But
But
that's
yeah.
I love the idea. That is such a like. That's one of those movies. If this were, or one of those moments, like if this were like your life movie.
Yeah.
And like the knife, that'd be like they probably just wrote that in there for dramatic effect.
Nope.
No, that
Nope,
actually.
that shit
Also,
happened.
like the scene of all of the lights shutting off in the house
Yup.
slowly, one
Just
by
like a
one, is
boop.
like,
Yeah.
oh God.
I was so fucking pissed because that's the second time. That's the first time, but it happened to me again. I was living with this lady named. You gonna blame? I can say her name.
You can say whatever you want.
Okay.
If you want us to
I'll
blank-
remove whatever
Just
you
blank
want.
the names
No.
out because I know these people still. They fought their kids and grandkids follow me on
Okay,
social
yeah, yeah.
media.
I'll-
like
So
how they
they'll
go
be
like-
like, "Hey, how do you remember me?" And it's
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, get the fuck out of here, block." Made it. I don't want nothing to do with you. But this lady name was Ms. She used to do that shit. Like I was a little older.
You gotta watch out for it because the miss another very specific.
Yeah, but she saved my life one time, so
Okay.
it balanced out.
Right.
She was like strict like that. She didn't fuck around. Like if you came home late, she had a back deck that was built that came out of like her kitchen area.
Right.
And she made her real kids sleep out there. She didn't fuck
Wow.
around.
Oh, damn.
She used to have these like two teenage daughters, and they were cool as shit, but they would go and do their own thing. And like they would come and like try to get in the house, and she'd be like, nope. And she would tell us to get the fuck away from the door. Like if we go and unlock it,
Shit.
she'd be like, get the fuck away from the door. And we just gotta stare at them through the door like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So she did that to me. I came home like late one time. And I was never into like selling drugs and that shit. I wasn't into like, I wasn't like a hood kid. Like I hung around that shit, but not that deep.
Right.
So I didn't really, I sold drugs for like a week in school. Like I
Yeah.
sold weed and it didn't make no money because I was just giving it away to people.
Yeah, you're like, what do you got?
And
I'll
I was like,
take it.
this is stupid. So I was like, this is dumb. But she didn't know that shit. But
People don't realize the actual like time and effort that goes into selling drugs.
dude, it's a business.
yeah. You can't just start doing it and be rich.
Yeah. When people go, it's easy money. Get the fuck out of here. It's it's like telemarketing.
Yeah.
It's more hours, no money for real.
Yeah. Telemarketing. If the people you're selling to over the phone get addicted to them,
Yeah.
I got more of those cut cold knives.
I need a warranty.
Wait, so like when you started to do comedy, was that something that like you felt like humor was something you always you were the funny guy, or you
I don't
used to
know why, but
Yeah.
people considered me funny. I didn't consider myself funny, but like she was one of the people who like we would like be sitting at the foot of her bed watching like Comic View or Comedy Central, and she'd be like, "You can do that." I'm like,
that's
"Really?"
cool.
She'd be
Wow.
like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see you doing that."
Yeah.
She was like, she would always say this to me. She'd be like, because she always like would have like low self-esteem and all that shit, and she'd be like, I see your face and your personality on TV. I don't
Wow.
know what else you thinking about doing with your life, but I think that should be a part of it.
Damn,
and
that's
I would be
cool.
like, what? And I was just like, I didn't know what that meant,
Right.
but she would be like, you can do that. You can be on TV. You can be funny like those guys.
Yeah.
And I would have her laughing, and I don't know how the fuck I have her. Like, she would be like cackling.
Yeah.
And she had like no teeth in her mouth. So she'd be like,
Dude, cause
Yeah.
like oftentimes a sense of humor evolves as a defense mechanism.
Yeah.
You know, and like it was, when you weren't fighting dads,
yeah.
you were figuring out ways to like accept and deal with life. So
Yeah.
you made fun of it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Or
other
like
people-
diffuse the situation through humor a lot of the time.
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
was just goofy. Like some people interpreted it as, "Oh, you funny," and then some people would be like, "You're fucking goofy. You're a distraction." And it's so weird
Yeah.
that the people, because I had to interview like a lady for like this foster care show that I'm trying to put together, and like we were talking, and she was like, "Did anyone in care, like any one of your social workers, ever nurture this?" And I went, "Absolutely not." They
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
were like,
Yeah.
call me, like I got kicked out of like after school like programs for like foster kids because they would be like, "You're too distracted." But all I would do was just like make jokes and shit on people,
Right,
and make
right.
fun of people. But I wasn't like starting fights with people and shit.
Yeah.
So it's like
That's
weird because they're the
interesting.
same people who call me when they like, "Oh, you're on Last Comic Standing. Can you come do
yeah,
a show
yeah,
for
yeah.
me?"
Of course, of
Hey,
course.
get the fuck out of
Yeah.
here.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I feel like it's not a normal career path that a lot of people think of, and
Yeah.
it's a very unstable career path. So if you're already
Absolutely.
going through foster care, that doesn't
Yeah.
seem to be something that they would encourage you to do. But it's
Yeah.
cool that it was Miss that.
Miss
That's awesome.
Yeah, but this is how she saved my life. I got in trouble at school, right? I didn't really like fighting in high school. Like, somehow I ended up just like getting through it, right?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't like, no one really had beef with me. I didn't have beef with anybody. Like, people knew me enough to where they'd be like, oh, that's Monroe. He's fucking funny, but like, he ain't shit.
Yeah.
So it wasn't
Yeah.
like a dude where it's like, don't fuck with him. Like, I never
Yeah,
had that
yeah,
energy.
yeah.
But I got in a fight with somebody in high school. And it wasn't even really like a fight. It was like a tussle more so. Like, we're just fucking tussling. And there's a teacher who tried to break it up. And this lady is like 4'11".
Oh, no.
Getting in between two kids. So she like claims like we pushed her. Like we pushed her. It was just
Right.
like, no, you tried to move us.
Yeah.
And you just fucking couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Right.
So like first I got in trouble for like inciting a riot because that's what they said happened
course.
because it was in like
Of course.
it was in an auditorium
A
on
two-person riot.
a
Yeah.
two-person riot. It was like you
Yeah.
got in trouble for inciting a riot, and I had a keychain that was like a Swiss Army knife thing, but it didn't have the knife part. It just had like the fingernail
right.
file
Yeah.
and the scissors. Like it was like 3 inches.
Right.
And they said that was a weapon.
No.
So they kicked me. They like took me out of school, took me down to a police station, and they were literally, they just got done fingerprinting me, right? They fucking fingerprint
Jesus.
me. Miss her husband was a highly decorated police or just like a cop. I don't know like how high his like ranking was, but he passed away.
Right.
And they just, that respect from him transferred to her. So she literally came in that station and was like, get him out of that cell, get his fucking prints out of the system.
Right.
Like he's already in foster care, and the moment you put him into into
system
like the
system.
system, that's the end of his life. And they were like, we don't know what to do. We can't do that. Once he's in the system, he's in the system. She fucking took me to like this big ass like judicial building the next day and like talked to like the judge for like 30 minutes and all my shit got expunged.
Wow.
That's
And
amazing.
she literally saved my life because most of the people I know who's in foster care have a record.
Yeah.
Even my sister has a fucking record.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
You have to have a record to
she-
know to grab a knife.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. My sister didn't fuck around.
Respect.
My sister did not fuck around.
I have a record.
She punched me in the face one time.
I mean,
My
that's,
sister, like,
Yeah.
I got my first place. This is when I got the place in SIL, and she came and she's hanging out, and I'm like cocky. I'm
Yeah.
like very like, get the fuck out of here, this, that, and the third. And I like push her shoulder out of nowhere. She just fucking turns around, whop, and like right in the fucking nose. I'm like, and she's younger than me.
but
She
younger,
was like,
younger,
boom,
younger
I was like,
sisters do the damage.
Yeah.
I love the idea of while they were talking, Miss talking to the judge, they find out like, wait, is this the same Monroe Martin that broke the arm of that guy who kept trying to be a cop and we kept telling no?
Yo.
That guy? Yeah, expunge
Yeah,
his
yeah,
stuff.
Get this shit out of
That's
here.
why. Oh man.
Dude, that's
Saved my life.
that is
Yeah.
fucking insane. That is such a like beautiful like origin story of
Yeah.
Monroe Martin.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for allowing me to
Where
talk.
like
about it.
now, where can people find you?
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff.
It's at Monroe V Martin, right? Or Monroe?
No, Monroe Martin III.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I got a podcast called No Need for Apologies.
Yeah.
Me and Derek Gaines.
Great
Yeah,
podcast.
thank you.
And
I appreciate it.
you guys are like old friends too. So there's
Yeah,
there's like a fun
that's one of
energy.
my
Yeah.
first comedy friends, and he's
Yeah.
like a brother to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
if you guys were like a choir or like a group,
Yeah.
you're the baritone and he's definitely the soprano.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
guys' energy just meshes.
Dude,
Yeah,
it's
that's
great.
great.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
But yeah, everyone, and you have like website tour dates.
Yeah, well, I'll have it. I'm still putting together some tour dates, but the website is monroemartincomedy.com.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna start to like release a bunch of stuff. I'm working on an hour. I'm working on like other things in between that.
Yeah. You got the source material.
I think, but I'm like,
Yeah.
dude,
It
I
takes
think
a while.
you go through this, but it takes a while
Yeah.
for you to like start speaking like I speak
Yeah.
to you,
Yeah.
like about these situations on stage and not run from when people go,
Sure.
oh, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
no, I can get to the funny from there.
The best dishes often take the longest to cook.
Yeah,
You know? And that's a dish for the soul. Monroe
Oh,
Martin.
shit. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's a nice way to wrap it up.
Monroe Martin, he's fought more dads than a guy who only dates single moms.
It's true.
Go see his comedy. He's one of my favorites. He's fantastic. Follow him on all the things.
Do it.
And thank you for sharing
Yes.
all that.
Thank
that was
you.
awesome.
I
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
it. Thank you for having me.
Now this is a story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down, and I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there. I'll tell you how I became the prince of a town called Bel Air. A town called Bel Air. In West Philadelphia, born and raised on the playground was where I'd spend most of my days. Chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool and all shooting some b-ball outside the school. When a couple of guys who were up to no good started making trouble in my neighborhood. I got in one little fight and my mom got scared. She said, "You're moving with your auntie and uncle in Bel Air. Your auntie and uncle in Bel Air." I whistled for the cab, and when it came near, the license plate said fresh to the dice in the mirror. If anything, I could say that this cab was rare, but I thought, nah, forget it. Yo, home's to Bel Air. Yo, home's to Bel Air. I pulled up to the house about 7 or 8, and I yelled to the cabbie, "Yo, home, smell you later." I looked up in my kingdom, I was finally there to sit on my throne as the Prince of Bel Air. The Prince of Bel Air.